Good morning, Smarties, and happy Tuesday. This week for Spirit Week, it's PJ Day. So Miss Sailing, she's wearing her PJ pants, and Stuffy Day. And I have my Stuffy here, my elephant. I love elephants. They're one of my favorite animals. So I have my Stuffy and my PJs, and I'm ready for PJ and Stuffy Day. I'm here with your writing lesson for today. We are going to continue working on our fictional writing piece. So if you haven't started, today's the day that you can start. And we're just going to quickly review what we did last week, and then I'm going to show you kind of what I continue to do in my piece. So this was extremely important for you to finish because I can't tell you how many times I've referred back to it. I've looked back to it to make sure that I'm following my guidelines, okay, my elements. These are the 4 elements of fictional writing. You have your characters, your setting, your problem, and your solution. So my characters in my story are Sammy, Kramer, and Gabby. My setting is in the mountains, on a hike, in a summer day, a springtime, and it's during the day and it starts to get nighttime. The problem, I stated the problem that they get lost in the woods, and then I have 3 main events that was what I'm going to be talking about in my story that have to do with the problem, and then I have the solution stated here. So pretty much this is like my story sketched out in just bits and pieces, and then now I'm putting it all together. We started last week writing. We started on Thursday, and your books, like I said, you can make your own if you don't have any, but I started off with setting the scene. Okay, who are my characters and where's my story taking place? That's kind of what you want to do in the very first couple of pages, so your reader is introduced to the characters and they know where your story is taking place. So I started off with one sunny Colorado summer day. So I know it says spring, but I changed it to summer. So right there it tells you that it's summer, that it takes place in Colorado. Sammy, Kramer, and Gabby wanted to go on an adventure. Right there introduced you to my 3 characters in my story. Right in the first sentence, you have part of the setting and my characters. They packed their backpacks with extra treats and water and hit the trail called Rough Road in the mountains. Gabby was sure not to forget the map. Let's go, they said. So right there it tells you too that they went on a trail in the mountains. So characters introduced, setting introduced. Now I'm ready to start kind of getting into the main part of my story with the main events happening that leads up to the problem, and then we get the solution. We also talked about, last week we talked about talking points. They're called quotation marks, okay? So, let's go, they said. There's these 2 things that float in the air, okay? They're talking points or quotation marks. Let's go. They go around the words that are being said by something or someone. So let's go starts let's in front of let's, and then go, because that was the end of it, they said, and then the period. Okay, so that was it. That was what I started last week. Got my setting and my characters introduced. Now this week we're going to continue just working on our story. So looking back at the 3 events, okay, that lead up to the problem, or after the problem that lead up to the solution. I got into my story now, and I'm hitting one of my main events. So I'm going to read it to you. I'm not even doing any pictures yet. I'm going to wait to the end to do my pictures. I want to get my story done, and then I can get creative with my pictures. So they said, let's go, they said. When they got to the trailhead, they stopped to get some water and look at the map. Gabby said, and then I have my quotation marks or my talking points, let's go this way. It looks like there is a fun bridge we get to cross. So if I show you this page, okay, you can see where it says, Gabby said, and then starting with my first quotation mark, let's go this way. It looks like there is a fun bridge we get to cross. And that was the end of her talking, so I put a period and a quotation mark. Okay. So they began walking. They were about 1 mile into their adventure when Kramer yelled, "Stop! There is something big moving behind that rock." So again, just leading up to one of my main events, okay, this time Kramer yelled, "Stop!" And I have quotation marks and an exclamation mark on it. Then he continues talking, so I add another quotation mark. "There is something big moving behind that rock." End of my sentence that he spoke, and then quotation mark. Okay, and that's where I stopped for today, because I just want to talk about it a little bit. So it's leading up to the mean troll. That's my first main event. So it's gonna, as they keep walking and they get to this rock, the troll's gonna come out, and there's something that's gonna happen there. That's my first event. Once they get past the troll, you'll see what happens when the troll disappears. That's my next event. Then the bridge, and then the thing. So it's a fictional story is a little bit longer of a story because you have quite a few things that go into it. But you can see how my story just keeps evolving. It just keeps, going into the events. And then actually I wasn't planning on leading up to it taking that long to lead up to the troll, but it just happened that way. So now I would continue writing about the troll and what happens with the troll, and then going into my next main event. So you want to keep your events, those are the things you want to keep focusing on. You don't want to add a bunch of other stuff in there that's not on your sheet, because then it's going to get too big and way too out of hand. So just keep your events in mind and just keep focused on those. And then, like I said, everything else will fall into place. That is it for today. It is honestly, please just set the timer for 10 to 15 minutes and just write. Have fun, get those creative juices going. Don't forget about your adjectives, your verbs. Like I said, if you want to write for 10 minutes and then you finish, like I finished 2 more pages, so I could add 2 pictures. If you are adding pictures as you go along, great. There's nothing wrong with that. Then stop the writing at about 10 minutes and then add your pictures. Use that 5 minutes to sketch out and draw your pictures. So about 15 minutes for writing today. Just keep on working on your fictional writing piece. Have fun with it. I can't wait to when these are done. If a parent records them, we are going to work on these all week. So we have today, we have tomorrow, we have Thursday. So we're going to continue working on them all week until our story is completed. And then if you are doing chapters, then you'll finish that chapter and you'll kind of leave us hanging, and then it'll lead right into the next chapter. So you won't really you'll have like a solution to the end of the chapter, but you won't have like a big solution that ends your story. My solution is going to end my story. So that is it for today, for your writing, for your fictional writing. Have fun with it, and I'll be back with your reading and your math lesson for today. Bye, Smarties!